In this video, I'm going to compare 5 different brokerages by identifying their strengths and weaknesses to help you find out which one is the best fit for you. Today, I'll be covering the following 5 brokerages: Webull, TD Ameritrade, Robinhood, M1 Finance, and Interactive Brokers. These are all brokerages that I currently have accounts with varying levels of experience using, and this isn't meant to be definitive rankings by any means. Some brokerages I've used more than others, and you may feel differently based on your style of trading, and that's totally fine. This is just my 2 cents.
Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
The criteria I'll use to judge each brokerage on are as follows: their platform, their mobile app, reliability and order fills, investment products, fees, and customer support. Then I'll give it an overall score based off my complex and proprietary algorithm. Also, this will probably be a pretty long video, so feel free to skip around. Let's get into it. Webull is up first, known best for their free stock promotions by shill YouTubers. Sign up for Webull and get 4 free stocks when you deposit $100. It's actually a pretty solid brokerage. Like most brokerages, the platform does take a little while to get used to, but once you do, it's pretty easy to get around, place orders, and look at your account performance. The charting tools are pretty good as well. I find it a little more limiting in tools and indicators than something like Thinkorswim or TradingView, but for the most part, I'm able to do what I want. You can really customize your layout nicely to set it up exactly how you want. I really like how you can easily pull up financials for the different companies you're looking at. You can see order flow, news, and so on. For options trading, I think it's super easy to navigate around and place orders. By default, the columns have exactly what I'm looking for, like open interest, implied volatility, and the Greeks. You also have a screener tab where you can create your own watch lists and even paper trade. Overall, I like the platform for the most part. It's certainly more advanced than Robinhood, but a ways behind TD Ameritrade. All in all, I will give this an 8 out of 10. Let's take a look at Webull on mobile. I personally hate trading from my phone, but when I need to, I want it to be as simple as possible for me to do. And for me, Webull has one of the best mobile apps. I can easily see my open positions, close them out, set a stop loss, or buy some more. It's also easy to flip to the chart view. You can easily change time frames, zoom in and out, add indicators, etc. The option chain is also pretty easy to navigate and find what you're looking for. Checking my P&L is nice and clean, and I really like the P&L calendar view as well. To check in on other tickers, you can simply search for it, and from there, we are in our familiar chart view where we can monitor price action or enter a trade. I'd rate this mobile app 9 out of 10. It's definitely my favorite one out of the bunch. So there are no commissions with Webull for stocks or options. There are no account minimums or account fees, which is really nice. When you sign up, you get a complimentary 3-month subscription to Level 2 data, but if you want after that, it'll cost you $2 a month. In addition to that, the OPRA real-time data costs $3 per month, unless you make at least 1 options trade per 30 days. Otherwise, you can get their NASDAQ basic real-time quotes for free, which is a little limited for more advanced traders, but good enough for the large majority of retail investors. For fees, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'd rate it higher if Level 2 data and OPRA real-time data were free. And of course, I understand they have to make money somehow, but I'm sure they do through payment for order flow. So I don't make a ton of trades on Webull. I personally haven't experienced any reliability issues, and I've always felt my orders have filled as I expected them to. When I compare a standard market order from Webull to other brokerages I've used, it's definitely better than Robinhood, and anecdotally seems pretty similar to TD Ameritrade and Interactive Brokers. And I wasn't sure whether to include this here or in the next section, but one of the main reasons why I love having a Webull account is for extended hours trading. You can trade after hours and in the pre-market, which is just a really nice option to have. I was busy one day and forgot to get into AMC before market close, but I was able to buy after hours for around $16 a share and made a nice little profit. For this, I give Webull an 8 out of 10. So Webull has your standard offerings of stocks and options. You can trade a handful of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and Litecoin, and not really much more. But it's not a crypto wallet. You can't send and receive crypto from other platforms. There's no futures, no Forex, no mutual funds or bonds, or international trading. I think for your average retail investor, you're able to trade what you want, but if you're looking for more offerings, you may want to look at a different brokerage. I give Webull a 6 out of 10 here. I think if you have any substantial amount of money in a brokerage account, you want good customer support. I ended up emailing every brokerage's customer support department the same basic question just to see how quickly they respond. Since my question was pretty basic, Webull actually did have an autoresponder instantly answer my question, which was helpful. And then about 3.5 hours later, I got a personalized response from customer support. So that was pretty good. And while they do tout 24/7 customer support, I haven't tried it out during off-market hours. They also list a phone number you can call as well, which I haven't done, but I saw another article where that person waited an hour to talk to a human on the phone. Now, if I had more serious account concerns where an outage caused me to lose money or something else like that, I honestly don't feel super confident about customer support really having my back. And I've read lots of comments on Reddit with people frustrated with their customer support. With all these considerations, I give Webull a 5 out of 10. So running my super proprietary algorithm, that's definitely not just a simple spreadsheet. Webull gets a 7.25 out of 10. Okay, next up is Robinhood. They've had a lot of bad press this year, and rightfully so. I'm not a big fan of Robinhood at all, and I would recommend most people look elsewhere for a brokerage, but let's dive in a little more. What helped Robinhood gain popularity is also something that holds it back from being a more serious broker. It's simplicity. It's definitely a mobile-first brokerage. I don't believe most users are logging onto their website to trade. Both look pretty similar, however, but on desktop you can actually see charts a little better with volume and a handful of basic indicators like moving averages and RSI. Everything is very clean and very simple, but in my opinion, it's oversimplified. It's kind of like comparing Adobe Premiere or Final Cut to iMovie. Yeah, you can edit a simple video in iMovie, and your mom can probably do it too, but when you want to do something a little bit more advanced, you're going to want to get the F out of iMovie and into a better application. So while the interface is pretty and easy to navigate, it's just too limiting to be very helpful for more serious traders. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. The mobile app is great at what it does. I mean, when Robinhood first launched, I don't think any other brokerage had anywhere close to the user friendliness of Robinhood. It's a clean interface with big buttons, and you think options are too confusing? Well, Robinhood will hold your hand and you can select, yes, I think the stock is going up, and Robinhood will tell you what you can buy in support of that hypothesis. For better or for worse, I think this app introduced many new traders to the world of stock options. When I'm away from the computer and want to check stock prices, the app I always check first is Robinhood because it's the fastest to log in and show my watch list for both crypto and stocks. I don't really trade much on it anymore, but it's nice for checking prices throughout the day. I give their mobile app a 9 out of 10. I think if they improve their charts with indicators and more timeframes, it'd be more useful for me. Robinhood's other claim to fame is their commission-free trading. $0 in commission for stocks and options sounds pretty great, and it is as long as you're able to get reliability and solid order fills, which we'll get to next. There is no minimum account size or maintenance fees or anything like that, so that's a plus. If you do want level 2 market data, you will need to pay $5 per month to get Robinhood Gold. So when it comes to fees, Robinhood is pretty decent, so I give it an 8 out of 10, but let's dive in a little more. Historically, when you would make a trade with your broker, you'd pay a commission on that trade, maybe $15 or so to fill your order. So as more and more brokerages move to the commission-free model, you should be asking, how are these brokerages generating revenue? Remember, if a platform or service is free, then you, the customer, you're actually the product. Just like with this video, it's free to you, but in exchange, there'll have to be some ads. Much has been said about the fact that Robinhood sells your orders to market makers, a process known as payment for order flow. This is how they make the majority of their revenue and is common practice among most brokerages. And in theory, it shouldn't hurt the customer, but I believe it's been proven that it often does. Without getting into the weeds too much, I think Robinhood has atrocious reliability and order fills. On volatile stock market days, many brokerages have had issues handling the increased activity on their platforms, but Robinhood seems to have the most issues most often. Like in March 2020, Robinhood was down for an entire day due to a system-wide outage. That is completely outrageous and reason enough to abandon using Robinhood altogether. Also, the order fills are abysmal, so many times I try to buy or sell and I'm sitting here waiting while they attempt to fill my order. It's just horrible. I'm giving them a 2 for reliability and fills, and that's being generous. All right, with Robinhood, you have your basic stocks and options like Webull, along with fractional shares. So if you only have $100 and want to invest in Amazon, which is well over $3,000 per share, well, you can buy $100 worth of Amazon, which is pretty cool. You do have basic crypto trading similar to Webull. Again, it's not a wallet, so no transferring crypto to other people or platforms. That's about it in terms of investments. You aren't getting anything fancy with Robinhood. Since it does have fractional shares, it beats out Webull with a 6.5 out of 10. If Robinhood is known for commission-free trading and a nice app, it's definitely not known for customer support. They had pretty poor email support and never had phone support. However, in May, they announced live options support from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, with plans to expand it to 24-hour coverage, which is a big step in the right direction. After market close on Thursday, I did ask them my generic question about trading OTC stocks via email, and they responded back Friday morning, which was within 24 hours and kind of as good as I expect email support to be from any company. I'm hoping support continues to improve, so right now I'll give them a 6.5 out of 10. So overall, Robinhood gets a 6.4 out of 10 for me. The bottom line is, if you have maybe $100 and want to invest and you want a free stock, well, head over to Webull and get 2 free stocks instead. But really, if you do want a Robinhood account, just know they've had lots of issues in the past year and a half, and they've got a lot of work to do to improve. Don't keep a lot of money in this account, and best of luck. Okay, next up is M1 Finance. This one is a bit different than the others, but I wanted to include it because it's currently home to my long-term investment portfolio, and I think it's a great place for a lot of people to start investing. And that's key. This really isn't a trading brokerage. It's meant for simple, longer-term investing. M1 is all about pie investing, which is just a way of allocating your funds to different slices. You start by selecting companies or funds in which you want to invest, and then adjusting the slice for each one. You can also pick from expert pies based off of your goals. So if you want to build out a more aggressive portfolio, you can simply do that. There are also pies that will follow the holdings and allocations of different hedge funds. So if you like Bill Ackman from Pershing Square, you can add this pie to your account. So this platform is less about charts and indicators and more about building out a portfolio with allocations that meet your investment goals. When it comes to making the trades, M1 uses trade windows to keep their costs down. So every morning that the market is open at 9:30 Eastern, there is a trade window. So any changes to your portfolio have to be made before that trade window for them to take place. So if you decide to change your portfolio Monday at 11 a.m., it won't actually make the necessary trades until the next day. So you can see how this is definitely not suited for trading and more for buying and holding. So at first, I found this platform kind of confusing in its simplicity and style, but it is clean and easy to use. I'm liking it more and more, and I actually turned on auto deposits, so every month a few $100s gets deposited from my bank account to my M1 portfolio. All in all, I give the platform an 8 out of 10. The mobile app is quite similar to the web platform, and the only real difference I noticed was I couldn't figure out how to add an expert pie to my portfolio. I don't know if I'm just missing it or if it's just not possible, but in general, the app works well and it looks good, so I've got no other complaints. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. With M1, there are no commissions or markups or platform fees. You can open an account with just $0 and start investing when you hit $100. Now, if you want the ability to trade in the afternoon as well as the morning, along with other perks like borrowing money at 2% interest, you can upgrade to M1 Plus for $125 per year, but your first year is free and then you can turn off auto renewal after you sign up. I give them a 9 out of 10 for this category. So since M1 trades under these trade windows, you don't really have the same kind of control over your buys and sells as you would with other brokerages. After they make trades for you, you can look at the trade summary for the day. We can see on June 1st, I got 1.90265 shares of the VON V ETF for $71.09. Looking at the chart, we can see that's right around where VON V was in the morning of June 1st. So that seems about right to me. Since it isn't really a trading app, I haven't noticed any issues with reliability either, so I'll give them a 9 out of 10 here. So with M1, you are more limited than other brokerages. There are over 6,000 exchange-listed securities. There aren't mutual funds, bonds, options, or crypto available. They do have fractional shares, which is great to have when building a buy and hold portfolio. So I'll give them a 5 out of 10 here. M1 does have email and phone support. I sent them my OTC question via email on Thursday afternoon, and they responded back Friday morning. They have phone support Monday through Friday during market hours, and I haven't tried phone support, but judging by posts on Reddit, it sounds like they may be hard to get a hold of. So I don't have a lot to judge this by, but I'll give them a 7 out of 10. Overall, M1 gets a 7.75 out of 10 in my book, but more on that later. All right, now we're moving on to the next tier of brokerages. These, in my opinion, are for more serious traders. They are well established and reliable. TD Ameritrade is the broker that I've been most actively using for the past year and a half. And what's great about TD Ameritrade is their Thinkorswim platform. So let's take a look. Out of all the different platforms I've used, this one is my absolute favorite. At first it looks overwhelming and complex, but once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. I made an entire video overview about the platform, which I will link below if you're interested in learning about it. But it's super customizable. You can put whatever windows and widgets you want just about anywhere you want to get your layout to work best for you. The charting tools are also my favorite. Moving around, changing timeframes, and adding indicators is all really easy and quick to do. Speaking of indicators, they have a massive library of studies and strategies that you can add to your chart. They have a built-in programming language called Inskeep, which allows you to create your own analysis tools, or you can just do what I do and download them for people who are much smarter than I am. So you can keep your charts clean and simple, or you can go crazy with it, whatever floats your boat. It really is a great platform once you dive into it, but it can be resource intensive, so it can be a little slower on older computers, but this platform gets a 9 out of 10. I don't use the mobile app super often, but every time I try to, I kind of forget how to do simple things because the UI feels a little clunky to me. For instance, if I go to the trade tab, type in a ticker and hit enter, I get an error. Instead, you have to wait for the right ticker to show up below and then click on it. But then I'm in the order editor, and if I want to look at the chart, I'm not sure how to easily do that. Instead, I have to go to the watch list and search for the stock to look at the chart. It's just a little thing, but I feel like it could be streamlined better. I think that if you use the app often, you probably feel pretty comfortable moving around in the app, and it does have all the necessary features, so I still give it an 8 out of 10. There are no commissions when you trade stocks or ETFs. Options contracts have a 65-cent fee per contract. Futures have a $2.25 fee per contract. For me, it's worth the fee, even though I spent over $3,700 on commissions year to date. But I don't recommend trading futures on here. That's just too expensive. But you do get real-time data and level 2 without any additional fees. So for this category, I give them an 8. No broker is perfect, and TD Ameritrade certainly isn't. There have been several times when the platform has been down during the trading day, when charts won't load and you can't really do anything. These issues tend to be resolved within 30 minutes or so. For fills, I think in general they do a pretty good job getting my order filled where I want it. Your normal market order is generally filled instantaneously. I did notice this spring it seemed to be a little bit slower filling my options orders, which is one of the reasons why I ended up opening an account at Interactive Brokers, but compared to something like Robinhood, TD Ameritrade is just miles ahead. I give them an 8.5 out of 10 for this category. TD Ameritrade has a pretty robust list of products: stocks, options, mutual funds, futures, forex, bonds, etc. No crypto yet, but they do have Bitcoin futures, and they also invested in a company called ErisX, which could open the door for TD users to trade crypto on down the line. Just about anything I'm ever looking to trade is on here, so they get a 9 out of 10 from me. TD Ameritrade has some of the better customer support out there. Their phone support is definitely superior to any of the previous brokerages I've mentioned. I personally use the phone support, and sometimes the wait times can be in the 30 to 60 minute range, but the people on the other end tend to be super knowledgeable and helpful. I did message their customer support today, which is a Sunday, to see how quick they get back via email. And at the time of filming, I'm still waiting for them to respond, but I do expect a response by tomorrow. So I'll just put the time it took to get a response right here. If it takes longer than 24 hours for them to respond, I'll knock a point off. But as of now, I give their supports a 9 out of 10. Adding everything up, TD Ameritrade gets an 8.6 out of 10 for me. It's what I recommend my friends sign up for if they really want to dive into trading. Okay, last but not least is Interactive Brokers. This is the platform I have the least amount of experience with, but it's definitely worth mentioning because as far as I know, it's open to the most amount of countries. With Interactive Brokers, you download a program called Trader Workstation, and the platform to me is a bit clunky and outdated. I honestly just hate the way it looks. From its appearance, it looks like it was probably designed in the late 90s and hasn't been redesigned since. But looks aren't as important as other aspects when it comes to trading. Since I prefer charting on Thinkorswim, I tend to have Trader Workstation taking up half of my screen with Thinkorswim in the other half. I like having the options chain easily accessible with a small chart, an order entry, P&L, and my watch list all right there. Again, like Thinkorswim, you can customize windows and panels to your heart's content. And again, I really haven't spent enough time on this platform to feel 100% comfortable with everything, but it's a little bit more difficult for me to get the hang of than the other brokerages. But it still is a robust and advanced platform. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I've honestly rarely used this app, but it's not bad at all. It's easy to find what you're looking for and check out the chart. You can even go full screen with it, then switch over to the options chain and place your order. It has the essentials and navigating around is fairly simple. And it honestly looks a lot better than the desktop app. 8 out of 10. This is where Interactive Brokers gets a little bit more confusing than the others. They have different pricing structures based off the plan you choose. So there's the free zero commission trading with no activity fees or account minimums called IBKR Lite. Then there's their IBKR Pro plan, which either has a low commission per share or set percent value of the trade, or you can do tiered pricing as well. So if you're a casual trader, the IBKR Lite would probably work better for you, which is the zero commission trading. If you trade on margin or you want tiered pricing for options and futures, then Pro is probably a better fit. I personally have IBKR Pro, and since I haven't traded on there recently, I'm about to get hit with a $10 monthly fee for inactivity, which I can bypass by racking up $10 worth of commissions, so that's kind of annoying. For data, you do need to subscribe to them if you want them. Some are free and some are $1.50 a month. I currently pay $6 per month for my data subscriptions. They get a 6 out of 10 for fees. So one of the reasons why I opened an account here was for their fills, which I heard great things about. They have their own algorithm which can try and fill your order in different ways to try and save you money. And I've toyed around with it and the different settings they have, and I haven't yet found the sweet spot. I find that when I try to buy options contracts in the middle of the bid and the ask, it doesn't often fill. I know people that swear by their order fills, so I'm just assuming it's user error on my part. I haven't experienced any downtime with Interactive Brokers, and so far, things have gone fairly smoothly here for me. They get a 9 out of 10. Interactive Brokers has pretty much everything TD Ameritrade has, but more international offerings, giving you access to 135 exchanges in 33 countries. They also have fractional shares, so a solid 9.5 out of 10 here for IBKR. They have chat, email, and phone support, which is nice. When you do try to call, they definitely encourage you to search their database first, which I can understand, but you can get their phone number for support and call it if you need. I've read a mixed bag of customer support reviews online, and again, I'm waiting to hear back via email, but I'll give them an 8 out of 10 for support, and if they take too long to answer via email, I'll knock them down a point. Interactive Brokers gets an 8 out of 10 for its overall rating. So now let's wrap up this super long video by breaking down what brokerage might be best for you. And before we do that, here are the final results for each of the 5 brokerages. Again, take this with a grain of salt, as this really is just based off my own personal experiences. I also want to mention one more platform that I haven't really used much, but I've heard good things about, and that's Fidelity. I put them on a similar playing field as TD Ameritrade, but their Active Trader Pro software, at least on Mac, was super slow and outdated. I think it was actually designed for PC and is being emulated on Mac, which is just not great from a user perspective. I know they've been revamping their mobile app, and hopefully their desktop app for Mac is soon to follow, but if you're a PC user, it's definitely worth checking out. If this video just left you more confused on which brokerage to use than before, my bad. But I don't really think there's a one-size-fits-all approach. It really depends on what you're looking to do, so I'll break it down simply. For simple buy and hold stock portfolio, I recommend M1. I think you'll like it. If you want to get into more advanced trading with stocks or options, check out TD Ameritrade. For casual trading and stocks and options, I recommend Webull. It's simple to use and extended hours trading is nice to have. If you're not based in the US and looking for a brokerage, check out Interactive Brokers. If you want to be miserable, sign up for Robinhood. Well, I hope this video helped give you an idea of what to expect from each brokerage and which one may be best suited for you. I'll link to each one in the description below if you want to check them out. Some of them have sign-up bonuses like free stocks, but I really recommend signing up for the one that you think will help you the most with investing and trading regardless of any promotions. If you would do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button on this video, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.